but I have found some of the awards are very fake, very that if you're not paying £1,000 to sponsor, you won't get anywhere in the categories. And if your face fits, you're going to win. So yeah, I think it's a very fake thing to be doing, but your clients like it, and your clients love to see you up on the stages and they love to see your certificates on the wall. But I don't think it actually goes on merit. I don't think these awards actually go on people's merit for work.
Hi guys, it's Holly here at Faces. Welcome back to the Face It podcast. Today I'm here with the lovely Nickalea from Transformed Academy and Salon. And it's her birthday, so happy birthday, Nickalea. Like, I can't believe you're on my podcast. Happy birthday. Love it. I feel honoured.
I know.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's all right. You're very welcome.
So let's just kick things off by talking a little bit about your background. How did you get into the industry? Where did it all start for you? And how have you led your business to where it is today?
So I started in the industry over 20 years ago. So I started in with level 3 beauty. So I started off with beauty and hairdressing. I've worked with some good mentors in hairdressing. So that was the main thing I went into. But then I decided over 3 years ago, to go into more beauty and aesthetics, because I started off in like a little salon, like a one chair salon, one mirror salon. And then I started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I moved into a bigger salon. And then I decided to sort of like make it a bit more of the field, a bit more into beauty. And then I decided to go into aesthetics. And I'm actually outgrown this salon I've got now. So I'm actually signing next week for a bigger salon again. So yeah.
Amazing. Oh, fantastic. So you've seen all of the changes of the industry then, having been in the industry for quite some time. How long have you been in your aesthetics for?
So I've qualified in aesthetics over 3 years ago. So yeah, but it's a very, very strange industry, isn't it? It's
yeah. And we'll go into that in a little bit as well. Obviously you do your training academy as well, so you teach students. So at what point did you think, do you know what, I'd love to be a tutor and start educating people on what I know?
Well, I started off with my hair because obviously I've got a lot of experience in hair, so I've trained sort of like hair, and then I went more into the facial aspects of facials and chemical peels, and then I started training aesthetics. Yeah. Yeah, because obviously the niche is there, isn't it? It's a big, big field.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
But I just knew when I did my academy that I didn't want it to be like everyone else's. My training was absolutely shocking. They qualified me on half a lip, which was, no way confident in it. So I knew when I wanted to set my training up that I wanted something completely different for my students. I'm also dyslexic as well. So I tend to help more people who struggle with the literacy and, the sort of more academic side of it rather than the practical. So I do that as well.
Amazing, because I think with so many academies out there, like you say, it's hard for particularly new people coming in to know which academies to consider, because there's so many out there. You see all sorts online of will make you a millionaire, do this 3-day course, and like all sorts of things. Obviously, like you say, there's academies who hand out certificates like they're nothing based on doing half a lip, doing one injection.
How can you learn 12 things in like 4 days? It's absolutely ridiculous. You haven't got the knowledge of it. You haven't got, you just haven't got the experience of it either. So like with my academy, I tend for girls that come into my training, I let them have all my manuals first, and I give them a good sort of like month or maybe 2 months if they need it to go over all the manual training. I also keep in contact with them constantly. I send them over test papers. So when they come into the salon, I know where they're actually struggling. To see where they are struggling on certain things. And then they don't step into the salon until they've qualified in their A&P. I don't have them in the salon until they've done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then when they come into the salon, I do a good 3 days of A&P with them, and all sort of like, all the manuals that we're going to do, we run through it. So we do a
Yeah.
good 3 solid days on that. And then I try my best to get them at least 7 to 10 models to practice on before they leave my clinic.
Fantastic.
Because I want my girls going out there and feeling very, confident that they can do this on their own, because it's a completely different environment when you train in-house and then you go out and you're doing your first set of lips or your first set of Botox. It's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, my qualification wasn't the best, so I went and did shadowing for a good 3 months before I even started doing my
Yeah.
aesthetics.
Yeah.
And I also give my girls the opportunity, and men, I suppose, if I train them, if they don't feel confident on that day, I will get them back in with no charge. I get them back in again to come and shadow me and get them a few models, because at the end of the day, that's my name on that certificate.
100%. And do you know what? There's so many academies that don't care about that. They'll give out certificates, like I say, like the nothing, and then never speak to the student again.
I also have a thing with my students. I get them to sign that if I don't feel they're qualified, I will not pass them on that day. If I don't think they are up to scratch, or they haven't got the confidence, or they couldn't deal with the complication, which is really, really important,
Yeah.
I will not pass them. I will get them back and they redo it.
Good. Yeah. And I was having this conversation with someone recently. I feel like the credibility and the meaning behind the certificate is certainly gone within this industry. People book on a course and they don't even kind of consider that they might not pass that course. It's almost like, oh, I paid for the course, I'm just going in, and then I'll get the certificate. And there's not many academies who actually will turn students away and say, no, I'm not going to pass you today, but come back in. And I think that is a really important thing.
It is, because people, things are different every day for people, isn't it? You don't know what that person's, before they've come into your clinic, what they've had to deal with before they've come in that morning. Maybe they've had their confidence knocked a little bit, and it's just, I don't think, I would never pass anybody who I don't think is confident, and especially not confident in dealing with a complication that can arise. I also give my students, a lifetime of support. So they have a lifetime of support. I also get them to send me across work after they've qualified, to look at it, and then they ask me if they can improve. And I've got a really good rapport with all my students. I speak to them quite a lot. And I've had 2 students that have come to me from bigger academies that just haven't got a clue what they're doing, and they don't feel confident. And then I've done refreshing training with them, a full day, because one girl didn't even know what ptosis was. They didn't know how to mix dissolver for the lip filler to dissolve to deal with that complication, and this is what's given this industry such a bad reputation, because
Yeah.
it's the training.
Yeah, 100%. I think on that side of things, though, I think 100% it's the academies who are not necessarily teaching correctly or not teaching enough about complications. But I do also think that practitioners should also take a bit of accountability for that side of things. I think
Absolutely.
it's one of
Yeah.
them. It's like,
Yeah.
how can you not know what a vascular occlusion is? Like, I've seen that on a group once.
How to deal with it.
Yeah, someone had posted a picture of some lips that they'd done on a forum on Facebook, saying like, oh, bit worried about this bruising, has anyone got any advice? Everyone was commenting like, that's a VO, like you need to get that dissolved ASAP, get them back to the clinic. And she was like, what's that? And I think
I know.
clearly the training was bad, but come on, like surely if you're injecting someone's lips, that that is a risky treatment, and there is a chance something bad can happen.
But I think these big academies hype you up that you've done so well when you've passed. Oh my God, you're amazing. That's amazing. And they let you go out on half a lip. And some people, maybe think they can do that on half a lip. I knew that I couldn't. So that's down to my morals, and that's down to my ethics as a person. I think it's helped that I've been in the trade for a while, as in like dealing with the public a lot and looking after my clients. So I think that was a good sort of like foundation for me. But these girls that just come in and they've not actually been in the trade, so to speak, like dealing with clients,
Yeah.
I'd never put my client at risk. If I can't do something, I would turn around and say, well, I'd rather not do that. I'm not 100%, I can't do that,
Yeah.
than risk my client,
Yeah.
because it's all about your reputation at the end of the day and how you perceive and how you look after your clients. They're
Yeah.
important,
Oh my
they are
God,
important.
100%. And they're paying money. These treatments are expensive and they're luxury treatments, It's not just about the treatment, it's about that whole client experience from when they book in to when after they've left the clinic. Same with students as well. These courses they're not cheap. So students
I,
absolutely should be getting lifetime
yeah,
support.
I always follow up whenever I do any aesthetical treatment. I always follow up the next day or a day later and just say, hi, it's Kayla here. Just wondering how you're getting on after your lips. Is there any issues, And they're like, oh, that's so nice. And I tell you what, as well, a lot of people do not give aftercare packs out as well. So like I give out aftercare packs of any procedure that I do. So like a lip cooler, a lip balm, and then I put, a written aftercare in the actual packs as well, because they're so excited about getting their treatments that it goes out the window when you talk about the aftercare. But this is another good thing about the Faces app. The aftercare documentation is on there for them,
Yeah.
even though they probably don't read it before
Yeah.
they sign it, but it's there,
Yeah, it's
it's there
there
as
to
a
cover
backup.
you. Yeah, and then like
Yeah,
you say, that little, obviously sending it through Faces, so they've got, a copy on their email, but then also aftercare packs. And it takes me back a few months ago. My friend, she went to get her Botox done, and she had gone to a new practitioner she'd never been to before. And I said, "How was your treatment?" She was like, "Oh my God, she was amazing. She gave me this little bag afterwards with sweets in it." I was like, "How
yeah,
is
that's
your?"
what I do.
I was like,
Yeah,
"How was your treatment?" I'm not, but it's funny how that little thing and that gesture just
yeah.
made her appointment. Just a little
And
packet.
it's weird. It's like, well, I've been so and so, and she didn't give me this, and I was like, oh right, okay then, But it's a nice little thing because at the end of the day, they've chose you. At the end
Yeah,
of the day, people choose you for you as a person as well as your work, and
yeah,
it's very good to have that sort of like with your clients that they can feel they can come back to you if they're not happy with that work as well.
yes, 100.
I've had a lot of people come to me from other practitioners, and I said, well, did you go back? Oh, no. I said, well, why? I said, because, you should give that person a chance to rectify or correct something that they've done
Yeah,
wrong, because everybody's different, everybody's metabolism's different, everybody reacts to things differently. You should give, oh, no, I couldn't go back. Oh, no. But that gives your rapport, isn't it, as a practitioner?
yeah.
You
That you're
have
not.
to,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're not building that relationship, or
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Some really good tips there.
Yeah, I think it's very good. You need to, as a client, they need to come back and be able to tell you that they're not happy.
Yeah,
I think that's a very important thing because you don't know and you're not learning from it either. It's a learning curve for yourself.
yeah, exactly. And the more clients you treat, the more difficult customers you might have, the more risk of complication there's going to be. If you're
Exactly.
building a client base and the more clients you're
Mhm.
treating, the more likely is you're going to come across those types of people.
And it's like I tell my students, you can give the best aftercare in the world, but it's down to that individual whether they take that on board because we've all done it. We've said to girls when we've done lips, please don't smoke, and they go outside the salon and they're rolling a cigarette. But you can't control what people will do after that treatment.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is where some of the complications can arise from, not necessarily you as a practitioner, is because the aftercare hasn't been adhered to by that client too.
Yeah. And when it comes to, let's say, insurance purposes, if someone then claims, have my treatment, this has happened, not happy, whatever, put a claim in against you, if you've got proof, which you will do via Faces, that you've sent the
Yeah,
aftercare, obviously we
yeah,
can't prove if they've read it or not, but as long as they've signed the consent and they've got
yeah. And
aftercare, then yeah.
yeah, I love the Faces app because it gives me a little bit of sort of like security in one way, especially with the disclaimer as well. It's amazing that I've read that, I understand it, but like I said, I physically go through all of that verbally with my clients before,
Yeah.
as well as them, and then they sign it. And I think that's really important as well, to sit your client down and say, you know, we're going to do Botox today. There is a chance, it's highly unlikely you can get ptosis, but there could be a complication risk there. Highly unlikely, but it can happen. You
Yeah.
know, and this is what I say to all my clients, and this is how I train my students. You need to sit down, go through all the complications, but you know, say to them, it's highly unlikely this is going to happen, but 1 out of 100 it could.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's just, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and just leading on to onto the Faces app, because I know you've used it for a really long time now. You know, you're very much
yeah.
one of our loyal Faces users, so thank you. With the consent forms, like you say, it's offering that security. You can add your before and after pictures straight from your consent form, your batch
Mhm.
numbers, your facial mapping.
It's
No,
amazing. Yeah,
everything's there. So if something did arise where, you know, insurance had to get involved or whatever, you've got everything in one place, just there, and it prompts
exactly.
as
And
well.
it does, you know, and I think you need to get into like a routine of doing that when you get your clients in, that you have to put the batch number in, you know, from the filler, from the tox. You know, you have to put the before, the after photos in, because it's good. It's for you as a practitioner. It's good to look back on as well. You
Yeah,
know, so like if there is a complication, or if there is sort of like, you know, they come back to you and they're not happy, you can say, well, actually this is this, you know, and you had that before we'd started the treatment, you know. So it's, because you do get people, don't you, that do try it on, you know, we've all
yeah,
been
of
there, we've all had
course.
people, yeah, you know. So, and yeah, it's amazing. It's a good security blanket for practitioners, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Just going on to just back to the training side of things,
Yeah.
because I think, you know, you've clearly, you know, given some great reasons as to why, you know, how you support your students and kind of the process with that. What advice would you give to someone who is in the process of looking for an academy to train with? What kind of things should they look out for?
It all depends on the level, I suppose, that you are. I do on my academy from the start, from scratch. I do one-to-one. Well, all my thing is one-to-one training. That's
Mhm.
all I do. Because some people don't work well in groups. I don't work well in groups. I'm more of a practical learner rather than a theory learner.
Yeah,
I'd probably look at the reviews. I would possibly ask as many questions as you can, because some of these larger companies won't actually ask you, won't comment on the work they're doing. And that's one of my students came to me, she said the reason she picked me is that I was so honest, and that, you know, I was telling her what, you know, what we go through, what you do, whereas some of the other companies, they weren't telling her that. Definitely look at the qualifications. I mean, there's an amazing thing now, cosmetic check, that you can go on to
yeah,
see that, you know, that's amazing for us as non-medics,
yeah,
that we are actually CPD regulated, you know, we're qualified in everything we do. And obviously, that charity with cosmetic couture is another one. You can see you're on that register, that you're actually qualified. And this is what we need as non-medics. We need to be on a register where people can see we are actually qualified.
yeah. Oh my God, you're so right. And I think, you know, I had a lot of practitioners at one time kind of coming to me and saying like, oh, like, you know, I can't put in my Instagram bio that I'm a nurse, and so what should I put? Like, what can I put? And it's really difficult, isn't it? Because you want some kind of status as a non-medic, but it's
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
difficult because if you don't have a medical qualification, you can't be putting like letters in front or behind of your name.
No,
So
no.
I think like you say, because MediCheck, amazing, you know, or how do they actually verify their practitioners? Because I don't know the process.
So with my process, I sent them everything that I was qualified in, and they actually, I think, went back to my CPD providers to see if I actually was registered and everything like that. And also, as well, they check your insurance details. They actually ring your insurance company to check you are insured. It's not just a fact of sending the actual documentation over. They actually contact them directly as well,
Yeah,
because anybody could send an insurance document over that's fake, you
yeah.
know, but they do actually ring the people for you to check
Okay.
that you are. Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, any advice to non-medics out there who want to, you know, have that proof that they are insured, that they
I
are
would
doing things correctly?
definitely get in touch with obviously Cosmetic Check, they're amazing. And also we need a voice, so we need to be going into this charity with Maxine
Yeah,
McCarthy, you know, as Cosmetic Couture, and
yeah,
join that, because
yeah,
you know we have no voice. The medics have the JCCP, we have nobody at the moment. that's going
Yeah,
to back our cause.
exactly. I'll
Yeah.
put the links to Maxine's charity. It's ACPB.
Yeah.
I think she's quite disappointed that, you know, not as many people have joined following the videos that I've done with her and everything.
Mm.
So if you're a
The thing
non-medic,
is, this,
please.
yeah, the thing is, I think people, oh, where
Oh,
have
you
we
still there,
gone?
lovely?
Hold on a second. I've gone off.
I can still
There, am
see
I
you.
back? Am I back?
Yeah, yeah, I can see you.
Sorry. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a stigma, like, people say this and, all that about Maxine, but at the end of the day, she is trying to help her. She, doesn't matter what people think personally of a person, that has to go out the window. We need to be coming as one. We don't need negativity. We need to stand together and we need to stand together strong. You
100.
know, there's there's an this industry is so bitchy, isn't it? It can be very bitchy,
Yeah,
but we need to amalgamate. We need to become one now, and we need a voice because we're going to lose our jobs. This is our livelihood.
yeah,
This is what
absolutely.
pays our mortgages. This is what pays our bills.
Yeah,
And if that's taken from us, and all the money we've spent training,
yeah,
I've probably spent about £15,000 training.
yeah,
So
yeah, completely
we
agree
really
with
need to
you.
support each other.
What are your thoughts on the traffic light system, you know, the green, amber and red? Obviously it's not set in stone yet, but that's what the government have released. And obviously there's a lot of talk about it at the moment.
I do believe like some of the treatments, yeah, I do, like on the red zone, like, but there again, show me a statistic who's actually died of bum filler.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody that's actually died of this or of threads?
No, no. And the thing is, so for example, like Natasha, who's been on my podcast, she specializes in pedio threads. She's a non-medic, but she's a pedio thread expert. That's pretty much, she does aesthetic treatments as well, but she's known for that. So it's like, okay, in some cases, yeah, red list. But in her case, for example, that
She
should have
does
been,
it day in, day out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
I mean, I do threads myself. I got to be honest, when I first did them, I was a little bit, oh, I don't know whether I like these. But now I've started doing them again. But it's all about the confidence. It's all about you,
yeah, and client
building that
safety.
confidence. Yeah. And obviously the training.
Yeah,
If you've had good training, I mean, I went and did my training in bum filler and I was on a course with somebody who'd never done cannula work in their life before.
yeah,
And I was just thinking, my God, what am I actually doing here?
yeah,
How did this person get on the course?
yeah.
So this is another thing. You need to be checking certificates before you're taking people on courses.
Yeah. And I don't think people do they? They just take the word, oh yeah, a done advanced filler. I'll have like, okay, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, but I mean, like I said, I was on the bum filler course, and this girl never done cannula before. So if you haven't done cannula in the face, how are you going to do it on a buttock?
Oh,
It's just yeah, it's scary. The industry is quite scary.
yeah, 100%. But you know, with the regulation, personally, I think licensing is a great idea. You know,
So do I.
permanent
Yeah, 100%.
makeup, laser, they all have to be licensed. So absolutely, aesthetic treatment should. You know,
Yeah.
people should be working in a suitable space with
I
wipeable
would also
floors.
I would also say to people, go out and get your off-call level 3 in first aid.
Yeah,
Because I've seen a lot of medics saying, oh, we're not going to be qualified if things arise in the salon where, we can deal with things adequately more than what you can.
yes.
So I went off and put myself on a level 3 off-call course. So, that's everything from burns, defibrillators, everything that can arise.
Yeah, 100%. And they're like a day course, aren't they? The off-call ones that you can do.
Day course and then you do a refresher every year and then you redo it after 3 years. But it is an off-qual qualification. So
Yeah,
it's
I've done that as
recognized,
well.
so they say. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
anybody, who has a business should be doing that anyway.
yeah. And do you
You
know what? There are a lot of companies who do group sessions. So if you've got like practitioner friends and you all want to go do it, you know, do it
Yeah,
together. It might
definitely.
even be
Bring it into
cheaper.
the clinic, get you all
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Yeah,
And to be
absolutely.
fair, they're quite fun as well. The first aid trainings, like you know, just with
Oh,
the
I know, yeah, with the dolls and the defibrillators. It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I know it shouldn't be a laugh, but you know, you have a bit of a giggle, and obviously you learn, like you say, anything from burns, cuts, how when someone faints in the clinic,
Mm.
And then you can do your anaphylaxis training as well, which you should have knowledge on anyway, but you know,
Yeah.
make sure you
I
get
mean, it's like they're saying now that we shouldn't have EpiPens on site, you know,
yeah.
but really, am I really going to risk that as a person? If I know that if anybody has anything anaphylaxis or anything, they carry their own EpiPens anyway. I know that, but what if they didn't that day?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
And then I mean, it's literally a matter of time, isn't it? They need to get to hospital straight away. Having that EpiPen can save their life. So,
Yeah,
oh, so,
absolutely.
sorry, the government say I'm not allowed an EpiPen in clinic. This person's just died.
Exactly. There'd be more for that, wouldn't there? Be more statistics of that than when we were actually allowed it. It's like dissolving as well. We're not allowed to carry the dissolver, are we, in clinic anymore?
I know.
So they're saying, but how, you know, if someone's got a VO, you want to deal with that complication there and then. You don't want someone walking out and having a chance of neurosis on the face, do you? You don't want the
Yeah.
tissue dying.
And if you
So
go to
it's just
A&E, they don't have hyaluronidase in stock.
no, exactly. And they're not very nice to people who go there with lip filler. You know, I've had a person that I know went to A&E with another practitioner with lip filler, and they were like, well, go back to the person that did this to you.
Yeah.
You know, so they're not very sympathetic to people who have cosmetic procedures, none,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
So
even though a lot of them will be practitioners themselves, but that's
exactly.
that's another thing. Just wanted to touch on the award side of things then, Kayla, because I know you've been a judge at the awards, you've also been nominated for some awards, and obviously it's a big thing at the moment. You know, there's lots of awards happening, tend to be this time of year.
Yeah.
What are your kind of thoughts on the awards in general, and you know, what have you kind of gained from being a judge as well?
I really enjoyed being a judge. I've seen a lot of people's work. Um, and the lady that I actually picked, I'm glad I picked her because she was a sort of like an all-rounder. She wasn't just sort of like lips. And that's in this trade, that's what you've got to be, sort of like an all-rounder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, but I have found some of the awards are very fake, very that if you're not paying £1,000 to sponsor, you won't get anywhere in the categories. And if your face fits, you're going to win. So yeah, I think it's a very fake thing to be doing, but your clients like it, you know, and your clients love to see you up on the stages and they love to see your certificates on the wall. But I
Yeah.
don't think it actually goes on merit. I don't think these awards actually go on people's merit for work. I think it's very much your face fits, and I've paid £1,000 sponsorship. And yeah, I've come first. So I'd love an award ceremony if anyone's out there. I'd love to do an award ceremony with somebody who actually does merit on someone's work. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I think
It's very, very.
yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. I think it kind of ties in with it being quite a cliquey industry as well. But
Mm.
I would absolutely love to have a Faces Awards ceremony.
Yeah, that'd be
Because
amazing.
you know what, someone like myself, I'm not a practitioner. You know, there's loads of practitioners that I love, but
Mm.
like I think I'd be a great judge. Just looking at
I
the
think you
community.
would, yeah. I think
And
it's good to have somebody as well. Like, I mean, you take it, okay, these companies, if they're sort of like they do the awards and then their student pops up, they're obviously going to pick that student, aren't they? You
yeah,
know, because
I
they
mean,
trained them.
yeah,
Yeah.
of
So
course.
yeah, so it's very much like that with the awards. I found it's very deflating because when you first go into it, you're like, oh yeah, you know, I've been picked and all that lot. And when you actually go and you sit in that room and then you see all the sponsorship names on the drop screens and that. And then they do it a very clever way. They do it in a way where it's like they work for the company, but they do it on their individual names. But that person actually works for that.
Yeah, I get you.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they do it that way, and it was just so fake. It's very disappointing and very deflating. And I know that one of the awards I went to, there was a lady there, and she was like, "How could you have picked somebody that's been in the trade 6 months, and I've been in the trade 6 years?" So that's another thing, isn't it?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts, guys, if anyone's watching. Because I think things like this are important to discuss. I think, you know, we're being real here. And yeah, if you also think Faces should have the
Yeah, I think they
we
should.
are thinking of sponsoring some awards.
Come on, Holly, get it done.
But
Come on.
no, it's not. we need Ash and Ben to give me the budget to do it. That's what we need. Because I genuinely, I would, yeah, come on, Ben, let me. I have already asked them, but I would love to do that, because I think, you know, we're kind of at the hub of the industry. You know, we wouldn't handpick someone based on who they are at all.
No.
You know, I would love to be a judge. So if you think Faces should have its own award ceremony, do let me know so I can take the votes to Ash and Ben and get the budget. But honestly, I've loved speaking to you, lovely. It's been fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Conversation. I think there's a lot of really important things in there. If you're interested with training, I'll put all of the details below so you can contact Transformed Academy to book in for training, whether you're new to the industry or you're looking for further training as well. But honestly, thank you so much for coming on. I've absolutely loved speaking.
All right, you're very welcome. I've enjoyed it. But yeah, definitely get that that judge thing. Yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do a poll. And
yeah, do a poll on Instagram.
Yeah, we've got 100 votes here for Faces. They'll be like, we need 10,000 votes actually. But yeah, leave it with me and let me know your thoughts, guys. But honestly, Kayla, happy birthday as well. Thank you so much for coming on.
You.
And we finally
got go out for a nice lunch now. I'm going to go out for a nice lunch on my son.
Amazing. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Lovely. It was lovely speaking to you.
And you, lovely. All right, you take care. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye.